Ladies and gents, welcome back to The Random. It's your host, Smallwood Worldwide. We're back again with another video. And today we're back with our TakeOff Sports Talk segment. Ladies and gents, show some love for the Goodman brothers. We got Greg, T, Odge repping a beautiful Hampton jersey over there. And again, I'm your host, Smallwood Worldwide. Before we dive into today's episode, number one, we just crossed the 300 subs line. Keep subscribing to the videos. I know you come for the tech, but please stay for the sports. We got lovely things to say, and we have a great time doing it. Now, with that being said, prime time, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, Deion Sanders has returned to college football, but not Florida State. Went home down here to the Midwest. Colorado Buffaloes had him 3-0 before losing this last Saturday. However, he's not only the talk of college football, he is the talk of all of football. A rallying cry, all kinds of new forms of recruiting here. I just want to know from everybody on this chat here, what is Deion's ceiling here? Can he win a national title with the Colorado Buffaloes? And if so, how soon until that happens? Ash, let's start with you.
Well, thank you, Anton, and thank you for allowing me the chance to speak on this. So let me just get right down to brass tacks here. I guess I was unfamiliar with the idea of the portal working so fast in terms of the transfer portal. I was under the impression, because I think people are forgetting a couple of things when it comes to Deion. I was under the impression he was going to win about 3 games before the season had started, just because like they won 1 game before he got there. The only reason why Deion got hired there is because they were that bad. It was one of those jobs. It was a typical Black Santa Claus job where they're like, let's give it to this guy. It's so bad here. We'll just give it to the black dude and see what he does. If he does great, that's great. If he doesn't, he looks like a diversity hire, and then we can get who we really want in here, right? So it's like, I didn't expect much from the team, but not because of Deion's ability to coach or not coach. But that's kind of what I expected. After finding out in the transfer portal that he literally turned over half of his team, and he took all of the best players from Jackson State, which is something that I can deal with later as far as like how I feel about how he's treated an HBCU. That was when it kind of flipped around. I was like, oh, okay. So my ceiling, honestly, for this season specifically, is a bowl game, which is 6 games won. Like I said, prior to it was 3, but after actually seeing them play, I think that they'll probably pull off another maybe 1 or 2 games that they probably wouldn't have or shouldn't have won this year. They'll probably pull off 1 or 2 more of those, and they'll beat another team that's not a cupcake, but someone who they're supposed to beat on their schedule. And they might get 7, but I know that they'll get. I would put money down that they would get 6. So that's kind of with the expectations for the Buffs this year and for what Deion's done. And honestly, that might even be Coach of the Year territory, considering, like I said, they won 1 game in a pack, in a top 5 conference. So,
indeed. T, what you got for us?
Hey, Deion's a winner, man. I don't even watch college football, but I watched Deion's team play. That's how much of a winner Deion Sanders is. This year, I think I just got it pegged about right. I mean, I put him at maybe 6 or 7, based on the teams they got to play and what he's been able to do with the roster. But as far as his career there, I think if he stays, I really think that he can get that team to be somewhere in the top 5, maybe 4, to get to have a chance to win it all. And I think that because right now, I mean, from what I've seen, their skill position players are really good. They get beat up down on the line, right? It's the big boys that are missing. And, he knows the game of football maybe better than almost anybody who ever played, I mean, given his status within the Hall of Fame. So he knows what that team needs, and he's got the gift to recruit and get those people to come to the school. So I think his ceiling is, if he stays, is to have that team in a position where they can go to the playoff. One of the reasons I don't watch a lot of college football is I guess I'll just use the word politics, right?
Right.
You can go undefeated and never even sniff the playoff in college. But because he's so popular and everybody's watching, they might give them a shot. That's why I say, maybe he'll have a chance one day.
Facts. I love it. I'm gonna jump in here before I let Greg take us home on this topic. So I'm the opposite, T. I watch a ton of college football, right? And you know why I watch it? For the upsets, kind of like I do March Madness. And so with college football, it is all about the politics where you don't, you're going literally to one or two schools. Clemson had their run, Bama had their run. The SEC still kind of dominant for the most part. But I think name, image, likeness, Neil has kind of flipped the game a bit. And so now players are going where they want to go, where they don't have to wait 2 or 3 years and they can play. And I think Deion took advantage of that. I think he looked at it from a perspective of, look, he's name brand recognition value. He's going to go here. They're going to follow him, as they did to Jackson State. To Hodges' point, they left Jackson State with him. Travis Hunter, of course. Why wouldn't you want to learn from one of the best, especially at your position? And went to Colorado. I think that for me, his ceiling is probably in year 3, potential for a national title. I think next year, with the way things work currently and the attention he's bringing to the program right now, their potential for a top 10, if they can flip over those lines and actually get good in the trenches, they've proven already that they're winning with, and I don't mean disrespect to the players in the trenches, but they're not elite players, right? These players are just good enough, right? It's serviceable. And so if he had like SEC style players or, guys who eat beef stew for dinner every night and breakfast, guess what? They're going to be tough to beat. And you're pairing that with high level IQ. So I love what he's done. I love that he's kind of helped reinvigorate the eyes on college football. I forget how many millions and millions he's brought in for the school already. His contract is paid for itself at this point, and that's just in 4 games. We haven't even gotten through the season. I have them pegged to win 6 games this year, and they already exceeded my expectations. And that's just because I didn't realize that so many of the Pac-12 teams were like top 25 and practically top 10 teams, teams that have.
They got Michael Penix and Caleb Williams and all kinds of dudes in that conference. They're crazy. It's crazy.
They got so many games that are within the top 15, They got USC this Saturday, and they're probably like top 5 right now. Insane. Last year's Heisman winner, Caleb Williams. So it's just like, I'm looking forward to see what they do. I really love watching his son play more than anything, Shador. I do think he's going to be a superstar at some point if he stays healthy. But listen, they're exciting to watch. And I just think that his ceiling right now is limitless. G, what you got for us? Take us home.
Oh, well, I mean, y'all pretty much said it all. The way I see it is I'm not going to go with 6 wins this year. I'm going to go with 7 or 8. I feel like he can pull off 7 or 8 wins this year. They're 3 years from being an actual powerhouse. And next year, Shador is going to be a real life Heisman Trophy candidate. Like he's going to be in the talks because next year they're going to get a little bit. Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to throw a question out there. So you know how the people are getting paid off the name, image, and likeness. Like if you were someone like Shador, I probably said his name wrong, but if you were someone like his son, and you were making like 10 or 15 million a year in college, and you got to graduate, would you even bother to go into the draft, or would you just take that money and go and do something else?
I mean, been working all your life, you might as well go to the draft. And he's going to be a top 5 draft pick when he goes. Whenever he goes, he's going to be a top 5 draft pick because he obviously has the athleticism. That's one thing, but he's got the IQ. He is a remarkable quarterback. If you look at the way he plays, his technique, the way he looks off defenders and everything else, he looks seasoned. He looks like he's already ready for the NFL. To be honest, as far as his technique goes, he's got an impressive arm. So impressive arm, impressive technique, and that's mainly because his father was a cornerback, and he knows exactly what to look for in a quarterback. He knows how to look these things off. He's taught him everything that the people that are trying to pick up the passes knows. His dad was the best at it. So to learn from that angle, and he's getting schooled by Tom Brady as well. This kid's gonna be a monster. He's gonna be ridiculous. So next year, I got him being as a Heisman candidate. But they're not gonna go to the playoffs or anything next year. They got a couple years from that, but with new recruiting and with the portal, 3 years they'll be a powerhouse. 3 years they'll be a powerhouse. 5 to 6 years they'll be a champion if he stays there.
For the record, I would not go to the NFL if I got paid all that much. I'm just saying.
Hey man, what you been playing all this time for? That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
It's not
if
like
I have
he
a chance
needs
to
the
go
money.
top
His
5,
dad is
hey.
Deion Sanders. He's never going broke.
if I made a total of $15 million and then I graduated, I would do whatever I wanted to do. Do
Well,
whatever.
obviously, what he wants to do is play football. I mean, that's what
he's really good at it too.
He's
insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing this just because.
I mean,
as a matter of fact, him and Travis Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Both. We're talking about a top 5 pick and a top 15 pick at least between two of them. Yeah. So, like I said, I think they're 7 to 8 wins this year. Next year, they got a Heisman Trophy candidate person. 3 or 4 years down the line, they're probably going to be a powerhouse. If everything goes and stays on this trend.
I don't think he's staying 3 or 4 years, man. Florida State's going to
ask. That nail money is good. Oh, yeah,
but
Deion, yeah.
Florida State will ask him to come back. For all I know,
he might not go because he's built something with these kids here.
Like Jackson State. So, yeah.
Totally different thing. But we can get that's the topic for another day. We'll get into that.
I won't derail the show.
Oh, I'm gonna let you kick that topic off too when it's time.
Yeah.
But
the point is, I think he's gonna end up winning a national championship.
Oh yeah,
within 8 to 9 years, or at least being in the game, the championship game.
So you got him staying in Colorado for a decade.
If he stays, I'm saying this is if he stays.
Interesting. Listen,
if they allow him to stay there and build that program, yes.
I mean, the amount of money he's built up in the 4 games for them. Oh, they're gonna make him as comfortable as he wants to be. I can tell you, it broke records. Like it's just insane.
Yeah, the sidelines look like the BET Awards. You see all them people over there? That was crazy.
When you saw The Rock there, it was a wrap. Right?
Yeah. He had The Rock and his mama.
He looked like the Nation of Domination Rock. He was just out there like, we
Shannon
back.
Sharp and Stephen A. Like, come on, man. Terrell Owens hanging out.
Yup.
T.O. This is every last one of these people is somebody in that locker room's hero. Like, why wouldn't you go where Deion at?
Exactly. Listen, the show continues. Wishing them all the best the rest of the season. But speaking of Deion primetime, again, top 5 corner, top 5 defensive player ever. I don't know. Let's jump into our top 5 NFL defensive players of all time. T, kick us off. What you got for us?
You want all 5?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, actually, I need to amend a previous statement. I also been watching Duke this year. The only other thing that could get me to watch college football.
Duke.
Shout out Wes, you're doing a great job, man, over there.
Yes, sir.
97. All right. So, my top 5 here. I don't really have these in any order. I'm kind of going off the cuff, but LT's got to be one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to be on everybody's list. You know what? I'm not even going to go through his accolades. I'll let one of y'all do that. I got Deion because he's literally could shut down one whole football field. And not only that, he did some contributing on special teams. He contributed on offense. He was the best at it. No one would dare throw to him because when they do, he'd pick it off. And if he starts high stepping the other direction, you're in a whole lot of trouble, right? So that's 2 of them. Another one on my list is actually Deacon Jones.
Deacon, yo, man.
Yeah, what?
Sorry, that's some joke for Red Man.
I know this joke. I know the song. Hey, I ain't heard it in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deacon Jones. I think from what I remember, he's the one that actually coined the term sack. He's like the first guy in that position to be quarterback pressure guy. He kind of changed the game with the way that he played football. So that's 3, right? Mm-hmm. I actually got Ray Lewis in my top 5 because from the defensive side, he won Super Bowl. That's a very difficult thing to do in the modern NFL era for offense.
MVP too.
Yeah, and he was MVP. Leader of the team. extremely feared by the opposition for obvious reasons. Right? Number one, he was kind of crazy. I mean, when he came out, you see he gets so amped up. You hear stories about him, like them saying like some random game to some middling team, and he's like weeping when the national anthem is played. He's so excited to play. I'm like, man, this guy, you just for somebody for it to mean that much to him, he's got to be top 5. And then so was that 4 people? My last one, I'm going with just somebody whose highlights just always loved watching so much. And that's Ronnie Lott.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Atwater.
I was thinking Atwater too. There was a way for me to say, Ronnie Atwater. I would go there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. We'll go Ronnie Atwater because both of their highlights are just unbelievable. I mean, you can't play football like that anymore.
No.
Used to describe Ronnie Lott hitting you like getting hit with a baseball bat across the stomach. So that's real.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah,
That
sounds real.
You know who's swinging the bat, right? Yeah. Yeah, Reggie Jackson. Anyway, so that's my top 5.
It's a good list.
Nice.
Good list.
I'm gonna jump in and we're gonna throw it to odds. So for me, I'm gonna stick with Deion Sanders again for the same reasons T mentioned. No need to go there again. However, I'm gonna go with somebody else that people kind of throw off time to time. Darrelle Revis. I think Revis Island was really, really good. Yeah. Listen, defense. I love a good corner. Listen,
I'm not trying to
Randy Moss. Randy Moss, you trying to derail the show?
I'm not trying to derail the show.
Listen, I watched this man take Randy Moss out of a game multiple times. Okay, you know how hard that is to do. Like,
yeah, Randy Moss did it to himself all the time.
No, come on.
He just was like, I'm not playing for these bums. I've only seen Randy Moss actually try on 2 teams. and when he was, you couldn't stop him. You couldn't stop when he was in Minnesota. And when he went to the Patriots, you couldn't stop him. Yeah, I've only seen him try twice. And every time, there was nothing you could do about it.
Now the Patriots is where Revis shut him down at, though, if I'm not mistaken. That's what made it all the worse. Yeah.
You said, never mind. Go ahead.
The Patriots.
You're derailing the show.
This is getting out of order. Let's get out of order. Go ahead. Let's get out of order.
So I got LT, of course. He's my all-time favorite defensive player, hands down. I just never saw a player ever till present day where people changed their whole offensive scheme for trying to stop this individual. And it never worked. Rarely ever, right? And so LT is that guy. I have Michael Strahan on my list. He went from somebody that I thought he was going to be okay when he got drafted, and he turned in a GOAT level career. Yeah, that sack record is serious, and was a
Strahan's monster.
Yes,
yeah, I'm not saying he's not.
And then I got one throwback player, and I toiled over this because there was a couple of guys that I really liked, but I ended up going with Dick Butkus. Dick Butkus went out there and just, he was just reckless. He used to lay the wood. He used to just take cats out.
Wow.
Jesus. You can't say Dick Butkus laid the wood and not get a hold of and get a hold of You can't say that.
Amazing.
That's outrageous.
He changed the way the linebacker position was played. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know exactly what you're saying, you pervert.
He got me on Deacon Jones. He got you with the Dick Buck.
There we go.
Yo, the only thing missing from that sentence was the tight end. That's
it. He's the lady wood to the tight end. Word to Dwight. No.
Dick Butkus would give him wood to the tight end every time he came across the middle.
I mean, it's kind of what it was. But no, you go back and watch his highlights, listen to how his peers describe him, especially in that era. I mean, that's when, for me, defense was defense. And it was just one of those times where the hits made cats not want to go back again. And he didn't care who was between him and he just got it done. I was about to set myself up again. Great. Jump in.
All right.
Sports analogy joke.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna go in order. Starting at number 5, I've got Ed Reed.
Ooh,
Ed Reed was a monster. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be like top 5 best or top 5 favorite. either way, he's on the list for me. Ed Reed was, as far as safety goes, him and Troy Polamalu, I had to go between them. But I went with Ed Reed, because of and yeah. So I got Ed Reed at number 5. Now, number 4, Ronnie Lott. We already know why. Ronnie Lott was basically an anvil in pads. He was knocking people's heads off their bodies. If he played right now, he'd be locked up. Like, there's no way they would allow him to do what he was doing out on that field. He was a maniac. I mean, he was just ridiculous with the hits. So, I mean,
he was like an evolution of Tatum for me. When he hit cats, they didn't want no more.
And the fact that he just decided to lose a pinky rather than lose a game is amazing. Like, that level of commitment is something different. All right, number 3, Reggie White. Reggie White was unstoppable. I had never seen anybody toss grown men around that easy. Like, I mean, I wish he would have been able to win it in Philly rather than with the Packers and that bum Brett Favre. But but I mean, regardless of where he was dominant the entire time. And I don't think that I've never really seen anyone hold him back from doing pretty much what he wanted. At least not one-on-one. You had to get the whole line had to be focused on Reggie. Number 2, I've got Deion Sanders. Now, I personally think Deion Sanders is the greatest football player ever. But if we're talking about straight defense, he's the second best ever. And I say football player because of what he could do on offense, what he did on special teams, and what he did on defense. If you take all 3 of those, I don't think anyone else has had a career doing more than Deion Sanders. He scored a touchdown every way possible that there is in the NFL.
I think Danny Ainge would like a word. he didn't even play football.
Yeah, he didn't. He played baseball. Yeah, I didn't even bring up the baseball thing. But Deion Sanders, like I said, like most of the time when you're talking about someone being the best at something, there's like a close second. There is no close second with Deion. There's no one in that league. I mean, you can say Darryl Green is up there, but I wouldn't say he's not Deion. Like no. There's no close second best cornerback. So, I mean, he's clearly the best at his position and probably always will be. I don't see there ever being another guy, especially in this era of football, that can shut down an entire side of a field. And last, Lawrence Taylor. I don't really have to explain why. You guys know why. Lawrence Taylor is a maniac. Like, it's ridiculous how good he was. He was so good that not teams didn't switch up. The entire league switched up. He's the reason why they made a movie about Michael Orr. Like, they needed someone to guard that blind side. And he's the reason why. Lawrence Taylor, you talk about someone who changed the game. He changed the game completely. Not to mention his off-field antics were hilarious. I'm not even going to get into all that. He has lived a life. I'll say that. Lawrence Taylor has lived a life. And I mean, if he was playing in today's game, he would already be kicked out the league. That's how wild Lawrence was. Lawrence was a wild boy. But didn't matter what he did on Saturday night or whatever other night. On Sunday morning, that was your ass. He was coming and he's about to get hit. All right, we're done.
Aj, take us home on this topic.
That was your ass. Let me just go ahead and do some outside looking in real quick, since I had for the record. That was
let me give one more honorable mention. My bad. As I have to do this.
No.
Sean Taylor from the Redskins.
Oh,
honorable mention. If he had not died, he'd probably be on this list. Sean Taylor was a beast. He was a beast, and it's sad that his career got cut so short over something so silly.
Yep.
I mean, who would have thought, a shot in the leg would end you?
Yeah.
That whole story is out still. Because what's funny, when that happened, before, not to derail the show, I didn't believe it. I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, that was
It
crazy.
was that unbelievable.
Yeah.
Insane.
Crazy.
But Sean Taylor was on his way to being the next Ronnie Lott. We would have been talking about him for years. I was positive they already had a bus for him made because he was Hall of Fame level.
Yo, you saw the hit he laid on old buddy in the Pro Bowl?
Oh yeah,
and shit was sweet. And he was like,
he's the reason why people don't want to play the Pro Bowl now.
Laid flexible.
He's the reason why they take it easy.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody trying to get injured in Honolulu because this dude is out here taking things too serious. He got one gear. But I'm sorry, Audrey. Go ahead. I had to give that shout out to Sean Taylor.
Wow. After that, so let's see. We'll just go ahead and try and go through it. Outside looking in, Tim Tebow, obviously. And now I'll get into the list. So I have Ed Reed, which was already previously mentioned. It's pretty upset about Greg stealing my thunder. I swore he came over here and took my playbook like he was the Patriots. I mean, what happened there?
What are you, Bill Belichick?
Yeah, old belly. You know what I mean? Old belly. Next was Ray Lewis. I also had Ray Lewis in my top 5 for obvious reasons. I was chuckling when TJ said that people feared him because I was thinking about the other incident, and I was like, "Yo, it's so funny." I'm not gonna get into details about that. He might watch this anyway. So, the third person I would like to mention is Bruce Smith, who was the previous all-time sack leader, and who I didn't see get stopped until Tony Baselli, and that was like his last year in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
It was really kind of like his last year early in the league, because everybody knows you go to DC to die. Back in the 90s. Reggie White was another one. I was hoping nobody would mention that they didn't remember the minister of defense. He was great. He was one of the best out, and he was one of the best dudes out too. He was a hell of a model. I'd be ashamed if I didn't mention Charles Mann. But he's not on the list.
Dexter Manley, why not? No.
No, Charles Mann is not. Last but not least was Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor, to be honest with you, he made it on my list because of Tecmo Bowl.
What?
I'm just saying, like, have you ever played anybody who was the Giants in Tecmo Bowl?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw him play, of course, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm like,
there's only 2 teams you're not allowed to take on Tecmo Bowl: the Raiders. And the Giants. So that's everything you need to know about Lawrence Taylor.
Mark Bavaro.
Lawrence Taylor was a complete game wrecker, and he made a lot of people look like geniuses that were probably just okay coaches. I digress from that.
I like that. I like that. I never thought about it that way too. How great he was with that. Because there's a lot of people that after, they were done with the Giants and he left, never heard from him again.
No, man.
Actually, only the tuna. That's about it. That's all I got.
You won't be around next year. Well, Belichick was there too, but yeah.
He was probably stealing somebody's notes as we see right now. No.
Shout out. Don't do it. That's all I said. Don't do it.
I'm not going to allow all this Belichick hate. I'm not going to allow it.
But shout out to everybody's top 5 here. It's always great. They're all winners. And speaking of winners, let's jump into our last topic of the day. Now, when I mentioned this gentleman, and we're going to discuss, is he potentially the greatest owner / player / winner in the history of sports? Let's be clear. He has 13 championships as we speak, right? He's seeking a 14th. 5 as an NBA player, 8 of them as an owner across about 3 or 4 different sports, including the WNBA, including women's soccer, okay,
baseball.
Including MLB, baseball. I'm talking about none other than Irvin Magic Johnson. So, T, we're going to start with you. Do you believe Magic Johnson is the greatest winner in the history of sports?
When I first heard this question, I was saying to myself, man, there's got to be others. I mean, Magic is the man, but aren't there these other great owners out there? And I started looking around. I said, maybe the belt belongs to him. He played, maybe 13 years in the NBA? And in that time, I don't remember how many finals he went to. I know he won 5 championships. it seems like wherever he goes,
8. I know he went to 10. I know he went to at least 8.
9.
9. It might have been
he went to
9.
9 and 13 years of play. That's amazing. And I love Kareem, but they weren't really winning until Magic got there.
When Kareem went down,
Yeah.
as a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kareem might have been there the year before, at least a year before Magic was there, right? Because he left.
Yeah. Oh, Cat was there.
Yeah. And they were okay, but they weren't what they became when they got Magic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said about Deion, Magic is a winner. Everywhere he goes, success follows. I mean, that's just what we've seen. I mean, maybe we should get on the Commanders bandwagon early or something. I don't know.
He said he's going for 14 with the Commanders, and I'm like, I don't know. Within a couple of years, everywhere he goes, he wins the chip. So it's hard to bet against him.
Yeah, he wins. And I think I'm going to give him the nod. The only person that I can think of off the top of my head, the only owner that has as many might be Bucks, right? Who he played for, the Lakers owner. I think he's got like 10, right?
Buss has got a lot of.
He got a whole lot.
Yeah. He's got like 10, right?
He's got a decent amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I guess he took over the Lakers. What was it, like probably like late 70s, mid to late.
Talking about Jerry Buss.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think
I want to say 70.
He's got at least 10 because he was there for Magic and Kobe. So
I want to say 77 is when he started. 77, 78.
Yeah, he was there for.
Yeah,
Magic.
he got 10.
He was there for Magic and Kobe.
Hey, when did he start?
79.
He started before Magic was there.
Yeah,
and
it was like a couple
Kareem
years
didn't win
before
there
Magic.
until Magic got there. So,
79, 80, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I think he started. No, it was like at least 2 years before Magic got on.
It was probably
Magic came out 80.
It's probably like 78, 77.
Yeah, I think it's 77, 78.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But he's got 10 because Kobe had 5 and Magic had 5.
Yeah. And Magic played, none of these other guys played. So I think I'm going to give him the nod. Because he's got, Jerry Buss, his days of ownership have ended because he's no longer with us. But Magic, it looks like he's going pretty strong. He's got more winning to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to him. Give him the crown.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna jump in, then I'm gonna hit Aj and let Greg take us home here. But I definitely think yes, without a shot of a doubt. 5 as a player, impressive, great, right? It's hard to win one championship. He won 5. But as an owner, he didn't just win like go take over the best baseball team or whatever, and then win all these titles there. He went to each sport. It's hard, for instance, to win in the WNBA, to win one chip, let alone to get them in a position to win multiple times. The MLB, he took the Dodgers, turned them all the way around. Again, baseball's a long season. I think 162 games or something like that. Then you got to pin it. It's insane. Injuries happen, so many different variables. Who has an ace, who doesn't? Again, he won a chip there. And they, I think, hadn't won since 1986 before he won.
It was a while.
That's GOAT level stuff. He went to the Women's Soccer League, I think LAFC. He won a championship there. And I'm just like, wait. Does he have like a rabbit foot in his back pocket? How does he keep doing this? But when you think about it, he's a winner as a businessman too, right? And it's just like the movies, the Starbucks, all the billion other businesses he has. It's like he goes in very positive. He goes in, he's very infectious with the players. Players obviously relate to him because he was one of them at the highest level. I think he won a championship in high school too. Not to pile on here, college, of course.
Yeah.
He's legendary for winning. And it's like, again, to take tips from somebody like that, if I were Josh Harris, I'd put him in the ownership group too. Because guess what? Chances are at some point he's going to say something or provide some kind of insight. We don't know what that is, but he has a winning formula of the sorts that has worked across a diverse level of leagues where it's notoriously difficult to win. and he's captured the flag in each one of those. So
Yeah,
I expect him to win the 14th, at some point in the next few years. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I just know that within a year of him taking over as an owner, they win. So for me, he definitely is the overwhelming favorite and just the greatest winner of all time. Ach, what you got?
you want to impress me? Do it with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, get out of here with this guy. I got three words for you guys. Jack can't cook. Okay, that's what I got to say about it. I'm sorry. I mean, do it again and do it in the playoffs, and then if you win the championship, do it again next year. I think it's Magic Johnson. I tried to look at different ones. I was like, maybe the guy who owned the Boston Celtics in the 60s during that run, maybe that guy's got us. And I looked it up. It was a bunch of different conglomerations that owned the team during then. I looked at Michael Jordan. He is an owner, but he also won a lot of championships as a player. And to be fair, he dabbles in a bunch of different sports. I looked at, I guess Joe Gibbs would kind of count too, because he does own the NASCAR team. He's pretty good, but of course Jack can't cook. I mean, I just you really can't. There is no competition. He's in a league of his own. And even with the Jordan thing, I was like, well, Jordan's obviously got a ton of money. He's probably got way more money than him. Then I started really thinking.
I didn't even say way more.
I mean,
he's got more.
Yeah, I wouldn't say way more.
Yeah.
Although I heard a crazy stat that Michael Jordan gets like $700,000 a day from a week or something from Nike, something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's actually more than that.
No, I think
it's $6 million.
It's like a year just up from Nike. You know what? This isn't about him. This is about Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Antoine had pegged it right. He was like, he's got that certain thing that he gives to every franchise that he goes to. And dare I say it, I think that certain thing is Magic.
I hate you.
Take us on.
No, I'm done, Greg. Go ahead.
Hey, I mean, yeah. He's clearly the best owner ever. The entire history of Magic Johnson, I've only known him to make one bad decision. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what he did with Nike. You nuts. I knew
I was like,
no, gonna go there.
No.
I'm talking about the deal he was going to have with Nike to take a percentage of the money from the shoes they're going to make with them. That's what I'm talking about. Jesus Christ, you guys are savages. Nice warm place by a furnace in hell for you guys. But
I thought you were talking about his comeback to the Lakers. I mean, what are you talking about?
That's it.
That is literally the only bad business decision that I've ever heard of Magic Johnson even making is the deal with Nike. And he was so young and didn't really have his grasp on it. I mean, at that point, how old was Magic? 25, 26, something like that?
Probably younger than that.
Well, to be fair, that it seemed at the time with the information
ridiculous.
Working with, it seemed like the right thing to do for him.
Yeah, he wanted the money up front instead of taking the percentage points. That is the only thing that I've ever seen Magic Johnson not get right in his whole career, as far as even athletically and business-wise. Now, I'm pretty sure he's got some failures in there somewhere. I just don't know about him. But that's the only one that I really know about. He's a winner in every sense of the word. Like, I put it to you like this. Magic does not lose. He beat HIV. He won. Magic's a winner in everything that he does. Literally everything. He's a winner.
That's it. That's how we're going to that topic. He is a winner, no matter what, through and through. But no, Magic is the greatest owner of all time. Probably the greatest
undefeated, never lost
player, business owner, everything. Listen. He's winning his vacation thing too. Listen, you follow him on social media every year, just like
him and Samuel Jackson kicking it.
That's it. But shout out to Magic. Love to see the success. Hope that it continues with the Commanders. Love to see what happens there. Now, if he wins in DC, where people go to die, as one of our panelists said earlier, guess what? That GOAT title is never leaving him, ever. But
Dude in Cleveland, get out of here.
anything is possible. No. Ladies and gents, that's our show for today. We'd like to thank you for tuning in as always. As you know, we're in the prime of sports season. We got WNBA, we got the MLB, we're dependent about to kick off. All right. I don't know. We got everything NBA back next week. We got NFL going strong. We look forward to you tuning in again soon. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Peace.